tens of thousands of people have already voted.
The race for U.S. president has galvanized voters nationwide. And while Washington may be considered a blue state, that doesn't mean voters can ignore the effect of partisan politics.
We all deserve better.
In the 8th U.S. Congressional District, Republican candidate Jesse Jensen, a former Army Ranger, says he's trying to find a moderate middle ground to unseat Democrat Kim Schreier, who says she's even more in rhythm with the pulse of her district as she seeks a second term.
To save lives and build back our economy even stronger.
In the 10th District, it's two Democrats facing off.
We support Marilyn for Congress because she'll continue to fight for everyone.
Former Tacoma Mayor Marilyn Strickland is working from a more traditional Democrat base, while her challenger, Beth Dolio, is touting her farther left credentials.
It's one of the few opportunities in the nation that we have to pick up a progressive seat in the U.S. Congress.
In state-level races,
and we are not going to let Trump take over the state of Washington.
We've accomplished a lot together.
Two-term Democrat Governor Jay Inslee calls his opponent, Republican Lauren Culp, a mini-Trump and a dangerous choice in the middle of a pandemic.
We're seeing all kinds of failed leadership with the current governor.
But Culp, who did not seek the state GOP's endorsement when he started his campaign, has energized the right wing of the Washington Republican Party and is riding a wave of grassroots support.
What a mess!
Look for fierce GOP versus Democrat battles as Republican Kim Wyman tries to hold her spot as Secretary of State against Democrat lawmaker Gael Tarleton, and as Republican Dwayne Davidson fights for another term as state treasurer against challenger Mike Pelliciotti. If Democrats win both those spots, it would mark a clean sweep of state offices, with the lieutenant governor's office between two Dems, U.S. Representative Denny Heck and State Senator Marco Lias.
Maya Espinoza.
The state schools superintendent job is not a partisan office. But challenger and nonprofit leader Maya Espinoza is campaigning on the state Republican Party's effort to reject a comprehensive sex education bill also on the ballot this fall.
My opponent is the one that ignored parents and educators and championed this policy.
Incumbent Chris Rakedahl says Espinoza doesn't have his credentials in governing, education, or finance. And he says she's been misinforming voters about the sex ed measure.
I understand politics. I don't respect dishonesty about a bill as important as this for safety.
But that bill, Referendum 90 on your state ballot, has garnered hundreds of thousands of opponents who say it promotes a sex ed agenda that goes too far.
We are against a mandate that is eliminating school board choice and taking authority away from parents.
But supporters say Referendum 90 clearly offers parents and school districts the ability to choose age-appropriate materials, and say the measure will protect kids.
The single most impactful thing that we can do in this state to prevent sexual violence is to approve Referendum 90.
On the local level, King County voters will decide on a 20-year, $1.74 billion property tax levy to make improvements at Harborview Medical Center. And they'll have several other choices, including whether or not the King County Sheriff should be an appointed, not elected position. Prop 1, to renew the 6-year Seattle Transportation Benefit District, is the only citywide measure on your Seattle ballot.
I support Proposition 1 because I think transit is critically important to the health of a city.
The measure, which pays largely for added transit service, reduces the size of the current STBD by not calling for the car tab fee it did previously. But Prop 1 would raise the sales tax an additional 0.05%, and while the measure faces no formal opposition on the ballot, it is raising some questions.
You're putting the burden on people who can't afford to pay it.
Paying taxes and paying attention to partisan politics are both important considerations for your ballot this fall, as voters look for some certainty in an unstable year this November 3rd.
All he knows how to do is hurt.
Tuesday, you got
Look,